my husband and I, trying to switch it up on the fly, that's not working. Okay, she and her husband own a Subway in Ogden. Which one?
The one in the Walmart on 20th and Wall.
Okay, there you go. So look for her there. And then I can't get past that. Okay. And then she loves her 3 daughters, her son-in-laws, and she has 2 of the cutest granddaughters on the planet, which we got to see one last week, and she is truly adorable. So with no further ado,
where'd she go to high school?
And Loma.
Friendly Fighting Scott.
And she's a Friendly Fighting Scott. She'll be doing Fun and Fling afterwards. Okay, so with no further ado, we welcome Shelly Jimbo. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Anybody here feel stress? Anybody here have cravings? Anybody know anybody who has addictions or themselves? Anybody have anxiety, depression? Well, I'm going to tell you what I do. So I transform your brain, body, and your thoughts from super stressed and struggling to energized and alive, yet calm and collected through amino acids, hypnotherapy, and nutrition. And why am I so passionate about it? Well, it's because I have a daughter who's an addict. That top picture is her before picture. The bottom picture is on amino acid picture. So I want to share that with you so that you understand a little bit about my journey, because my daughter at age 6 was diagnosed with anxiety. I went to the doctor like most moms do and got her on some meds, and they said, you know, give her this little pill, she's going to feel better, it's just a little chemical imbalance. And she didn't. And we went from doctor to all these different meds. And at age 15, she came to me and said, Mom, I'm tired of being a doctor's science project. I just want to feel normal. And my fear was that if she was ever introduced to drugs and alcohol, I absolutely knew that she'd be instantly addicted. And she was. So between her 9th grade year and her sophomore year, she became addicted to alcohol and marijuana, which led to meth, which led us down a journey of 8 years of hell, trying to get her to find answers to help her, which included juvenile court, regular court. I never knew whether I was going to get a phone call that she was dead, had killed somebody, or was in jail. And that was a scary thing for a mother, especially when it wasn't even an area I was even understanding about. And I was looking for answers, because the thing I learned about addicts is that, first of all, it's a disease, and second of all, they're just trying to white knuckle it. So even when they're trying to stay clean, they're just doing it because they have to, not because it feels good. So last year, I was looking for answers. And she'd been to jail twice. The first time she went to jail was because she was on meth, and she threatened me, and I had to call the cops on my daughter, which is the hardest call you ever have to do, and send her to jail. And the second time she went, I finally said, there's got to be answers here. And about 6 months down the lane, she'd stay clean for about 6 months, and then she'd relapse. So last November, she was on that verge of relapsing. I'm thinking there's got to be an answer. As much as I could pray, there was a story on Gephardt that he did a story on amino acid therapy and how it helps with addicts. And they're using it in our rehab centers. And what they're finding is if they give large doses of amino acids through an IV, then within 3 days, the cravings start to go away. Within 10 days, they're almost completely gone. There's like an 85% rate of recovery, which if you know anything about addiction, it's phenomenal. Now, it's also $1,000 a day. But I knew it was my answer, and I started to do this research, and I found a recovery place in Florida, and a call said, help me out. They were using the supplements to help their clients, and he said, you know what, in 3 weeks we have a training in Salt Lake. You'll learn everything you need to learn about amino acids. And that changed my life, and it changed my daughter's life and several people. When I asked you if any of you felt like, stress or anxiety and all those things, these are not just for addicts. It's for people who are struggling and looking for answers. So with that, I have my own amino acid line of amino acids, and I've got them up here so you can look at them, and I've got some papers, so a lot of things you're going to find out there's in the paperwork. But what they do is amino acids are just the building blocks of protein, and what they do is there's certain some that target your brain. So in your brain you have 4 neurotransmitters: dopamine, serotonin, GABA, and endorphins. Those are your happy, calm, feel good chemicals. When they become depleted, these symptoms are the things I talked about. So by learning about which ones help those symptoms is what helps to balance your brain and help you feel better. The second step is nutrition. Nutrition is extremely important because what happens is in the front of your brain you have a prefrontal cortex. It's right here. And that's in charge of your cognitive thought processes. Your I'm going to make this choice and this is going to be the outcome. It's your drive. It's your willpower. When you eat a diet that's filled with sugar, starches, or missed meals, you're actually starving your brain. When that happens, it shuts down that prefrontal cortex and causes you to become irrational and very irritable. So when you make a choice, you make an irrational choice, and you lose all of your willpower and everything you've learned to stay away from these cravings and addictions. And it helps. What we want to do is get your blood sugar level by eating a diet that can keep that stabilized, keep you out of hypoglycemic state. If anybody knows what that means, you spike and you drop and spike and drop and strike and drop. And that's what causes this chaos in your body. The last step is hypnotherapy. Like I said, hypnotherapy is as natural as going down to sleep at night. You go through that process where you're almost asleep and it feels so wonderful. Well, you have your conscious level, which is 10% of your thought processes, and 85% of your thought process is your subconscious. And that handles your memories and your emotions. And part of the problem is your conscious tells you you want to do something, but whatever these stories are in the subconscious sometimes aren't congruent. And so when they're not congruent, the subconscious always wins. Now, just like a child believes everything that is true that comes into them, your subconscious also believes everything is true, but it may not be. So when you think to yourself, I want to reach this goal and I can't because I'm blocked, why am I blocked and what is the story? That's what hypnosis does, is it comes down and figures out what those stories are and is able to change them, reprogram, and take the memory away from the emotion so it becomes just a memory. So all three of them work together is what the plan is, and it's been phenomenal. And that's what I do. I've got information I'm going to get out to you, but anybody have any questions?
Where's the other 5%? You said 10% of your brain is conscious and 85% is not.
It's gone. No. It's the one that you lost when I almost ran out the door twice today. Out the door. Actually, it's between 10 and 15%. So give or take a little bit. Yes.
I actually have a question. So I agree with what you said when you said that people who suffer with anxiety and depression, they don't usually want to take their meds, or some people don't. Mm-hmm. So I know someone who's like that, but I also don't know if he'd want to take amino acids because they would look like meds to him. So like, what would change that? How would you get him to then take his meds if he doesn't like taking meds for his problem?
Excellent question. First of all, amino acids, your body either produces them or you get them from food. Okay, so it's not something that your body doesn't know what to do with. And the other thing is if your body needs it, you're going to feel a difference within 20 minutes. So all you have to do is try them. If your body needs them, they're easily accessible and they're very inexpensive. And so that's why I got my own line, is I wanted to make sure I knew where they came from, and I wanted to make sure I had the best product. Yes.
Now, so I see this with a lot of like other companies that sell the same thing. How would you say your amino acids vary from somewhere that you could get them from someone else, say like a doctor or something, if the doctor prescribed them?
Well, amino acids, you can get them at the health food store.
Right.
So the reason I like mine is because I know where they came from. They're created in Orem. And so I know what's going into them, I know how they're created, and they tell you what they are. So like tyrosine, which is energy says energy booster, DLPA for happy is called happy pill, GABA, which is to help calm down, is called GABA chill pill. So each of them have the name, it makes it a little bit easier, and I have them, so it makes it easier. They're very comparable in price because the thing about amino acids is they should be inexpensive. They should not be, that's kind of the great thing about them. And so I price them so that they're comparable to what you can get them either at a health food store or on Amazon. The greatest thing is, guys, that the thing I want you to know is that there are answers. They come in weird ways, and life matters and your life matters. So I'm going to hand out some papers. If you guys are interested, in there's an amino acid chart. If you fill it out and notice that you're high on a lot of them, you may call because that's a good inclination that amino acids will be.
All right.
I have amino acids.
Oh.
High on acid.
No, no.
We just
All right. I'll see you after. Okay, so right now it is time to take some photos. It's our groupie pics.